Guys, the Benidorm Enthusiast here, and today's video is one of those I don't really enjoy making, but I feel as we're entering the peak season here in Benidorm, it's really important to make this video to help everyone have an enjoyable holiday and avoid any sticky situations. So today I'm going to be reminding you of some common scams and how to avoid them, ways to minimise the chance of you getting ripped off, getting pickpocketed, all things like that, and warning you of some new tricks from the scallies who try their best to ruin your holiday. So I'm going to start with pickpocketing. How bad is the pickpocketing here? Well, we hear about it almost daily on social media. It happens way too often in my opinion, and the most common theft here is of mobile phones. Don't make it easy for them. If you're going to be indulging in a lot of alcohol, don't take an expensive phone out with you, and certainly don't be walking around with it hanging out of your back pocket. Sounds like common sense, that I know, but you would not believe how often I see phones in back pockets walking up and down this promenade. If you do have to take your phone out with you, don't leave it on the table or on the bar in front of you, and make sure you have some protection on it when it comes to your sensitive info. Set up a tracking app before you come away so you can remotely wipe your data if needed. Set up your biometrics rather than a PIN. Set up a hidden folder on your phone only accessible by fingerprints or face recognition, and put all your banking apps in it. Set up two-factor authentication on all your accounts. These are all ways you can add an extra layer of security on your phone, because if it does get nicked nowadays, it's not the actual phone they're interested in, it's your banking info on it they want, so they can wipe out your accounts. A common scam here is where they stop you in the street pretending to be lost. They'll ask you for directions, ask you if you can have a look on Google Maps for them. You take your phone out, unlock it and open the Maps app, and then they whip the phone out of your hands and run off. Now, not only do they have your phone, but they have it unlocked, and if you used a PIN or unlock code in front of them, they'll have memorised that as well, and it is absolutely shocking what they can do with access to your phone and how quickly they can do it too. So if you're going to be bringing out a phone that does have all your sensitive info on it, make sure it's secured with extra protection as best possible. It's not just phones they're after though. Jewellery and passports, wallets are all fair game as well. I wouldn't advise having expensive jewellery on show, and there's no need to carry your passport round with you. Make a photocopy to keep that on you just in case you are asked for ID. It is a requirement here to carry ID, but the authorities are pretty understanding when it comes to passports, and a photocopy is usually accepted for tourists if you're stopped for any reason by the police. If you are stopped by the police, always ask to see their badge. Another scam I heard about earlier this year was people pretending to be undercover police, stopping people in the street and insisting to search their wallets for fake notes. You hand over your wallet, and whilst keeping you distracted talking, they're slyly sneaking notes and even cards out of your wallet right in front of you. They'll hand your wallet back, and at a quick glance you may think it's all good and nothing's missing, but later you'll find out different. So don't be afraid to ask to see an official ID badge from police officers. If they are real police, they'll have no problem showing you it. Of course, pickpocketing doesn't only happen when people have had a drink. You could be stone cold sober and still get dipped, unfortunately. They are so sly and quick and clever at what they'll do, you often not even feel a thing. So try and be aware of your surroundings at all times, especially your own personal space. Nobody should really be rubbing up on you, unless you've invited them to, of course. But in busy and crowded areas, often that's inevitable. So be extra vigilant in busy bars, around markets, high streets, anywhere where there's lots of people. There's bound to be a few scallies lurking and dipping pockets at the same time. The hugger-mugger technique is particularly popular here, so be aware of people being over-friendly and wanting to give you a hug for seemingly no reason. There is a reason. Their reason is to get their hands in your pockets and see what delights they can steal from you. This is common whilst watching sports events in bars. People can be particularly vulnerable at this time. The thieves will be pretending to celebrate along with other fans. They'll often have a team shirt on to blend in, and whilst everybody is bouncing up and down to celebrate a goal, they'll be relieving you of your personal items without you even realising. But the most common hugger muggers are the ones that target guys walking solo late at night. They'll appear as prostitutes and approach offering sexual favours. Don't let these anywhere near you. They have absolutely zero intention of giving you any sexual favours, so don't even be tempted by that. They literally just want to rob you. Some will even take you around the corner to an isolated place, unbuckle your pants, and at this point they've probably already got your valuables, but this is to make sure that you won't chase them. They'll run off, and you, with your pants round your ankles, you're in no state to be running after them. So don't get caught with your pants down. If you are a victim of pickpocketing whilst here in Benidorm, I urge you massively to make an official police report. It's not likely you'll get your stuff back, but every single report that's filed puts pressure on the powers that be to tackle the problem. There are so many thefts that still go unreported here. The people in power look at the numbers on papers and they don't see a crime problem. And we all know those numbers don't correlate with reality, but until the official numbers start making them look bad, sadly, nothing's likely to change. It's an inconvenience, I know, but it's really important and it could help prevent someone else getting done over in the future. If you do unfortunately find yourself in a sticky situation whilst on holiday, it's always going to be useful if you can speak a little of the lingo, and the partner of today's video can help you do just that. Rosetta Stone is a language learning application which uses dynamic immersion, a very intuitive way of learning using images and words to help your brain make natural connections. Learning a new language enhances travelling experiences massively. You can connect on a deeper level with locals, including the authorities, police, or even health professionals, should you need to communicate with them. Even though my Spanish is good and I speak Spanish daily, I know my pronunciation isn't perfect, and I use Rosetta Stone to help me with that. I really like their technology called True Accent, which compares our pronunciation with that of native speakers of the language we're learning.
Voy al hotel.
Voy al hotel.
Va al banco.
Va al banco. The Rosetta Stone lessons are short, some only 5 minutes, so suitable for even the busiest lifestyle. There's a desktop version and an app, so you can even do lessons while you're out and about on the go. It features core lessons and exercises which focus on listening and reading, pronunciation, grammar, and much more. With my unique link in the description, you can now get a 60% discount on the lifetime subscription, meaning access to all 25 languages for life, including Spanish. So you can start feeling more confident whilst travelling today. So what else should you be looking out for to avoid any sticky situations whilst you're in Benidorm? Well, the P-men are an absolute must to avoid. These are the guys that play a game on a cardboard box where they shuffle and hide a pea under potatoes and try to get you to bet your cash to guess which potato the pea is under. We've done loads of warning about these guys. There are even billboards and signs up around Benidorm warning people of them now. But unfortunately, people do still fall for it. Don't even go near these guys. Don't even stop and watch. They work in gangs. They have people pretending to play and win in the hope of drawing you in, and they'll have lookouts all over who are also scanning to see who's got mobile phones and wallets in accessible places. They transmit this info within the gang, so as well as getting their hands on your cash by this scam game, they're also looking for targets to pickpocket at a later time. The best advice is just steer well clear. Don't even entertain them. Another thing to avoid is the cocktail sellers on the beach. Do not buy or drink these cocktails, they're just plain nasty. The sellers are completely illegal, they're not licensed to sell alcohol or any drinks for that matter, and they don't work for any bars. They prepare the drinks on the pavements down side alleys or in the backs of vans and cars. Very unsanitary. People who make them are dirty anyway, but they'll chop up fruit on the floor up the side alleys where they also use their toilets. and they'll use the cheapest, nastiest alcohol they can find, often just rubbing some alcohol around the rim of the cup so it smells like booze, but putting virtually none in the actual drink. They're a complete rip-off, and they're likely to make you ill if you do drink them. So definitely avoid the dodgy cocktails on the beach. Another scam is the charity clipboard. People will approach you asking you to sign a petition to support a cause. It may seem like a supportable cause, so you go ahead and sign. Then they'll point to some small print which says you have to give a donation along with your signature. Now, of course, they can't force you to hand over any money, but they will make you feel very uncomfortable and under pressure. And sometimes you'll feel like the only way you're going to get rid of them is to hand over some of the money to then get them off your case. The best thing to do when these approach you is just say no straight away and make it very clear you're not interested. No respectable charity or organisation operates in this way, so don't feel bad about telling them to get lost. It's a complete scam. Any money gained is very unlikely to make it to any charity they claim to be representing. Even if it is an actual charity, often they just make it up. Another thing to be very wary of is the fake buskers. There's a couple of guys that go up and down here on the promenades pretending to play the violin. They often have a woman with them and a baby in a pram. Well, that baby never seems to get any older, quite possibly a doll. I've never had a close look. It's either that or they borrow different friends' babies every time they come out because it never gets any bigger. I guess the baby helps work on people's sympathetic conscience. Anyway, the guys are not even playing the violin, it's a con. So I wouldn't be handing over any dosh to them if I were you. And this is a real shame because it makes you think twice about giving any buskers a bit of change. And I generally do like to do that when I see and hear musicians I like. You can see a lot of raw talent on the streets, but people like this just take away all the authenticity of it. They shouldn't be encouraged, it's not fair. One last thing I want to talk about today, and that's where to get money changed and where to withdraw cash. Cash is still very much king in Benidorm, and more bars are going cash only this year. You don't need to be carrying around wads and wads of cash, just take out what you need for that day. When it comes to changing money, the indoor market or the Euro tobacco shops are safe and offer the best rates. There used to be a lot of exchange stalls dotted about around Benidorm that advertised a much higher rate than anywhere else. And there's still a few around, but they are dwindling out. These are a rip-off. You won't get the high amount advertised on the board unless you're changing massive amounts of money. And the actual rate you will get will be way lower than what you should be getting. So stick to the respected exchange places like the ones in the indoor market or the Euro tobacco shops. When it comes to withdrawing cash, there are a lot of ATMs around Benidorm that will rip you off. Not just with commission fees, but with a terrible exchange rate as well, so it's a double whammy. The ones I'm talking about are the pop-up ATMs that aren't connected to any banks. If you use the ATMs connected to the banks, you should get a much better exchange rate. The commission charges vary depending on what card you're using and what agreements they have in place with the Spanish bank branches. If you're using a UK Santander card, for example, then the Spanish Santander bank's ATMs, you won't get charged commission. But if you're not using a Santander card, the Spanish Santander ATM does charge quite a high commission. I think it's €7. You'll still get a better exchange rate than you would with a pop-up ATM, but €7 is quite ridiculous, to be honest. The Sabadell ATM in Rincon de Loix seems to be pretty reasonable for most UK cards. I think it's €1.80 commission for most cards, but the Kutzer Bank in the Old Town is the one I hear recommending all the time online, which apparently has 0 commission charges for most UK banks. I'll add the locations of these cash machines in the video description below. I think that's about it today, guys. Just to say as well, I know it sounds like there's a lot to look out for and a lot of scams going on, and especially when it comes to the pickpockets, because we hear about it so much nowadays through social media. Bear in mind, there are millions of people that visit Benidorm every year, and most of those people will have a fantastic holiday without incidents. Unfortunately, we don't hear about all those millions of people who visited and didn't get pickpocketed, because not many of them go onto the likes of Facebook and post, "I had a fantastic home, a fantastic time, and I didn't get robbed." But we do hear about almost everyone that have encountered incidents because they do get posted. Don't let it put you off, but do be aware it can happen, and I always like to say, don't leave your common sense on the plane. Don't wander off on your own if you're with mates. Don't leave your mates behind. Stick together and look after each other. If you're a solo traveller, don't get so drunk you have no idea what's going on. And if you have some distance to get back to your hotel, just jump in a taxi. It's better to be safe than sorry after all. Right, that's enough preaching from me today. I must sound like a right nag on this video, but I just want everyone to enjoy the time here and not let the scumbags and scallies who are bringing this place down win. Thanks for watching. Give this video a share, send it to anybody that you know is visiting. It may well help them avoid a sticky situation on their trip. And leave us a comment if you can think of any more scams and rip-offs people should be aware of. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X and TikTok at the Benidorm Enthusiast. Stay positive and stay safe.